sort of look at the core lessons of the Bible, let's understand biological dysfunction as it relates to romance. Many of you have heard me talk about romantic, mental, spiritual, and moral precision, okay, and intensity, and how these things are basically synonymous. They are the same thing, okay. It has to do with martial arts and not science. It's a long story why that is. So what do I mean by mental prowess, mental intensity to perform martial arts? Okay. So if we were to look at the human story, and we were trying to understand it, okay, 300,000 years later, if a woman is not interested in me, okay, an attractive woman, she's suffering from biological dysfunction. Now, this might seem to be an extraordinary claim, but it's really common sense, and let's understand why that is. Okay, of course they're changing my voice, but we'll do it from a more of a scientific perspective. We'll describe it in the third person. Basically, there's this guy, me, okay, and he's the top martial artist that ever lived, logically, because they're building up. Every generation, his family is working with focus, moral intensity, and they're masterfully molding a better generation than the last, is the idea. Okay. There's the king to the grandfather, right, and to my father and to me, and it's this royal martial art line, the Ibos, which is Obi, Kuro Obi Black Belt, right, new belt, me, King Heart, Hut, Temple, Soul, leader of humanity, alpha of humanity in Igbo, and then there's this kind of witchcraft, kind of, superimposing their idea on it because they want to cheat the king. That's why the Igbos were broken into villages, okay? So, basically, if a woman who is attractive, okay, who says, hey, I'm attractive, and she says, what does she do with her attractiveness, right? Isn't interested in focused and intense romantic intensity. Okay, she's suffering from biological dysfunction. It's like a person who isn't interested in sex. Okay, why not, right? People are reproductive beings. They've been here for a long time. There's some kind of biological dysfunction or some kind of government experiment going on, etc., right? Basically how it is. Now, people might say, well, there's this view of this, and this, right? But people are life forms that reproduce. Okay, so if you get to the essence of nature, you don't become unnatural, you become supernatural. Okay, your passion goes through the roof. That's part of what my top martial arts challenge proved. Is did this guy's conception, this Eastern philosophy, this Western philosophy, these other African philosophies, did they produce someone who could prove spiritual power in single combat, sparring? They couldn't, okay? Because they weren't becoming more in touch with nature. They weren't honing their ability to understand the spiritual realm as much as I am, to say the least, okay? And this has to do with building toward the ability to do this. It's like humans starting to evolve away from primitive primates and so on and so forth. Okay? Pretty straightforward. So if she's not interested in the last valid top martial arts ever, when all these horrible things are going on in this world, okay, why wouldn't she want to transcend and be with this guy? Then there's something seriously wrong with her. Now, if she can be coerced, there's something wrong with her. The world is going to hell. Neural dust. Okay, in Newsweek, talking about the Chinese pigeons, robotic pigeons used to spy on people. Okay, they have all this advanced surveillance technology, all this advanced remote kind of stimulate nerves and control movements remotely sort of technology. Okay, incidentally, if you put a chip in a cheetah's brain, you can't really make it run too much faster. Okay, for the same reason, even if they were remotely controlling me, it would mean nothing. Okay, they're still working with the limitations of my brain-body connection, so on and so forth. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So there's nothing they can do to kind of take the credit. It's like saying, you made the lion the king of the jungle, you didn't. You made the falcon the fastest animal, you didn't. God chose him without you, all you did was make a fool of yourself. All right. So when we look at this thing, okay, and we say, why doesn't she like him? Okay? Why doesn't she like this sort of Superman, supernatural guy? Why does she prefer evil? Okay, she's suffering from biological dysfunction. Why isn't she curious about why she's here? And this guy knows better than anyone else, and he has the most logical argument. Everyone else is cultural, it's corporate funded, it's coercion based, it's politics, it's garbage. Okay, they all kind of conformed into cultures that are allowed by these pedophile Epstein types and corporations that everyone knows that by now. The Allison Macks of the world, the Maxwells, all these people who are being accused and all who's on the list and their network and how it all really works is pretty much come out. People are calling it an awakening and they're starting their own psychological movements and so on and so forth. So if a female is not interested in the top martial artist, in the information age, on top of that's what it's called, she's suffering from biological dysfunction. Where are you getting your information from? These political guys, even scientists are political as hell. Where do you get your information from? Where do you get your information from? Why you're here, what love is, what it feels like, what is morals, what is it truly like, what is the essence of morality? Why isn't she interested? Because she's suffering from biological dysfunction. Nothing should keep you from these answers. And if your family members want to keep you from these answers, you discard it.